what's up? It's Grace, and today I'm going to be talking about the series that I have marathoned, which means I read them back to back. I didn't pick up another series or another contemporary novel. I just read the entire series, or the ones that were out, I guess. I think about myself. I don't really like to marathon read unless it's like an epic series that I just can't help but pick up the next book. But usually I will not marathon read a series because I don't like to be in the same world for too long, in a way. So yes, I'm going to talk about some cool series that I have marathoned. So the first series I'm going to talk about is the series that really just made me such an avid reader, and I owe so much to it, and that is The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. This series is so magical. I read the first 5 books back to back, and then I had to wait like a year and a half or something like that for the last book, and it was torture. But I really want to reread this series and just see how much I love it, or if I loved it as much as the first time. Just, I owe so much to this series. It is so magical, and after I had back-to-back read the first 5, I picked up the Infernal Vices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and I love this so much too. I didn't love it as much as The Mortal Instruments, but I still really, really loved it. I love Jem. I love Jem. And I love Will too, and I love Tessa. Just everything, and I love Cassandra Clare. The next series I'm going to talk about that I marathoned was the Vampire Academy series by Richelle Mead. I was so obsessed with this series that I just needed to pick up the next one. There was just something so easy about these books to read. There's nothing like quite extraordinary about the writing, but it's very, such great storytelling, such amazing characters. I love Rose personally. I think she was just such an awesome character and a refreshing character from what I had read previously before I picked up this series. And I love these books so much, and I also love the spin-off series. And I did marathon like the first 4 books, or the first like 3 or something of those. I really love that series too. But I really love the Vampire Academy series and just everything that it has given me. The next series that I marathoned is quite a big, quite popular series, and that is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. If you guys didn't know, I read the Harry Potter series when I was 16, and I'm 19 now. And what had happened was I had picked up it's my best friend Hallie's favorite series, and she kept on saying, read this, and I was like, dude, I don't want to read a middle grade series about, yeah, I was one of those people. I was like, that's just not going to be my thing. I swear it's not going to be. And she was like, read it. So I picked up the first book and I read it, and I was like, yeah, that was really good. It was really cute. And then I was like, I'll continue the series later. And then 2 months later, I picked up the second book, and then I was like, ooh, that was good. And then I picked up the third book, and the third Prisoner of Azkaban is what made me fall in love completely with the series. And then I just back-to-back read it. And I remember ending that series. This is my favorite series of all time, and I have never been so completely invested in a series so much, to the point where when I was going to school, I was like, I'm gonna go head off to potions right now. And I felt like I was there, and I was just so excited about life while I was reading these. And I just remember reading the last page and just being like, wow, that's a chapter of my life that I have to put to a close. And it was really just like the best feeling, but also so sad. It was amazing. And if you haven't read this, please do. The next trilogy that I marathoned was the Shatter Me trilogy by Tahereh Mafi, mainly because of Warner. Yeah, I would say that was the main, good chunk of the reason why I did that. I remember I was on vacation, and I had read the first book, and I had started the first book, and I was like, ugh, this is like depressing. I don't really feel like this. But I read it, and I was like, oh, that was good. This Warner guy is pretty psycho, but I don't love him. And then I took, what is it? Why am I forgetting this? Ignite Me, Shatter Me, Unravel Me. Why did I forget that? I took Unravel Me to the beach, and I had read that. I read half of it on the beach, half of it in the hotel room, and I was like, there's a plot twist in that book, and I was like, I need the next book, and I didn't bring Ignite Me with me, and so I just stopped, and then I was on my Kindle, and I found that there was a novella in Warner's perspective, and that just changed the whole game, and I read that, and I was like, Warner is everything. And then I got home and I just immediately read Ignite Me, and it was just a big part of my life for a while. I was obsessed, looked up fan stuff on Tumblr, looked up cast stuff, had dreams about Warner, had dreams about Warner's closet. It was a great time. The next trilogy that I marathoned was the Summer trilogy by Jenny Han. Jenny Han has a way of writing characters so lovely. Even though they're annoying, you still love them. personally I do. And her writing and just everything is just so beautiful and so real and just so family oriented, and there's great friends and just relationships in this book, and I couldn't help but read the whole thing. Next trilogy that I marathoned was it is my best friend McKenna's favorite series, so I felt the need to read it, and I did, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's just super light and super fun. It's about trolls, which is a little bit odd. I was like, it's about trolls, and I was thinking about the little like dolls with the weird hair, but that's not what trolls look like in the trilogy, and it was just so fun. There's this really awesome, super like snarky kind of, you know, like this bad boy character, but like with heart, and his name is Loki, and I really enjoyed him, and it was just so fun. So yes. The next series that I marathoned was such a fun one, and that is the Luck series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This was a case where I read like I don't know if there's 6 or 5 books in it. I read like the first, I honestly don't, is there 6 or 5? I don't know. But the books that were out, either 5 or 4, and then I had to wait for the last book to come out for a while, and that was hard. But I love them. It's about a book blogger, and she finds an alien, a hot alien who's such a jerk, and I hated him, Damon, for the first 2 books. I really hated him. And I was kind of buddy reading this with my best friend Hallie, and we were just having such a fun time. It was just so fun, and I want to reread that sometime in my life. And if you guys want to delve into Jennifer L. Armentrout, she has a lot of books. I would go with that series because I think it's her best work. Next trilogy that I marathoned, I've actually never talked about on my channel, which is weird because I really enjoyed it when I read it, and I picked it up from my school library when I was in high school, and it is the Unearthly Trilogy by Cynthia Hand. I believe that's the author's name. I'll insert a photo here. But I remember reading the synopsis, and it kind of just sounded like a generic angels, like it deals with angels, generic kind of like YA angels book. And I had read the first book, and I was like, wow, it was really good, and it didn't go out the way I thought it was. It played out different, and by the end of the trilogy, it ended not the way I thought it was gonna. There's amazing things. There's a great family dynamic, or not dynamic, but a great family like relationships, and great friendships, and there's this love triangle that's like really meaningful, and it was just really great. I don't know if it's as good as I'm saying because I read it a long time ago, but I think it is. And I would like to reread it and see what's up. The series that I marathoned was the Ironface series by Julie Kagawa, and I had also checked this out from my high school library, and I had ended up loving the series so much that I had bought the box set later on. And this is the same case, and I don't know if it's as great as I think it is because I read it a long time ago, but I think it is, and it gave a lot to me at the time that I read it, and I was just so in love with it. It deals with fae. I love fairies, and the court, there's the summer court, or the summer and winter court, and the great characters, I thought, and just a great atmosphere. There's the Never Never, which is the Fae land, and there's this iron horse that I remember being just such a great character. He was a horse, an iron horse, and I love it. And I just love Julie Kagawa's writing style. I had read the first book of the spin-off series, which deals with another character, and I didn't like that one, and I wouldn't continue on, but I love this series. The next trilogy that I marathoned was also by the same author, and that, I believe this is what it's called, the Blood of Eden Trilogy by Julie Kagawa. I'll insert a photo here. This is about vampires, but it is not like your generic vampires. It is dystopian vampires. It's just a great trilogy from what I remember, and it's diverse. The main character is so badass. She's like these katanas, and there's a character who's like her mentor, and he's so awesome, and it doesn't play out the way you think it is, and the ending is so beautiful. There's an awesome villain. Oh my god, I totally forgot about that villain. He was so crazy. He called screaming, like he liked to torture people, and he would be like, sing birdie sing, because the screaming was like music to him. Crazy. Oh my gosh, so many memories are coming back right now. I think I'm gonna buy that trilogy and reread it because I loved it. So yeah. Next trilogy I marathoned was the Divergent trilogy by Veronica Roth. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you know what that is. I also checked this out from my high school library, and I had remembered reading Divergent in less than a day, and I was so in love with it because of 4, and just like the whole I really liked the whole faction thing, and I was like, wow, this is so awesome. And then I checked out Insurgent, and it took me about a week to read, and I was really bored, and I was like, that was really disappointing. And then I read Allegiant, and I read that one, and I'm sure that you know how I feel about that. I didn't like it. And the last trilogy that I'm going to talk about that I marathoned was, I unhauled this one because it hurt to look at because you're so frustrating. And I don't know, there's like a prequel to it that I didn't read because I was pissed off, but I read the Maze Runner series by James Dashner. There's the Maze Runner, Scorch Trials, and then the Death Cure. I read the Maze Runner, loved it. Read Scorch Trials, was pretty disappointed. Then I read the Death Cure, and I wanted to kill that book and kill a lot of the characters in it. But I love Newt. I love you, Newt. I love you. Those were all of the series that I remember that I marathoned. I'm pretty sure I marathoned the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, or the books that were out. I think I had to wait for the last one to come out. I don't really remember. I don't own those books because I was moving. I read them when I was really little. Where are they? Mom? Where'd you put them? But anyway, comment down below and tell me some of the series that you had marathoned and what series you think are good to marathon. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.